Good afternoon, General Officers, SCSs, Command Sergeants Major, community leaders, good neighbors, Hall of Famers, friends, and the OTC family. On behalf of Major General James Gallivan, Commander of the United States Army Test and Evaluation Command, welcome to the United States Army Operational Test Command Promotion Ceremony. During today's ceremony, Colonel Chris Hackler will be promoted to the rank of Brigadier General. The salute battery for today's ceremony is from Alpha Battery, 3rd Battalion, 16th Field Artillery, and is led by First Lieutenant Gavin Bassett. Music for today's ceremony is provided by the 1st Cavalry Division Band, led by Staff Sergeant Marcus Brooks. We would like to give special thanks to Colonel Hackler's family and friends that have traveled great distances to be able to join us today on this special occasion. Specialist George L. Hackler, Charlie Troop, 1st Squadron, 32nd Cavalry Regiment, 1st Brigade Combat Team, 101st Airborne Division, out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Family that traveled from Missouri and California, and friends that traveled from Virginia and Kansas. Thank you for being here. Please stand for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the invocation and for honors to the nation, which will be played by Miss Jada Johnson. The official party for today's ceremony consists of the host, Major General Gallivan, Colonel Hackler, and Command Sergeant Major Johnson. For today's ceremony, Major General Gallivan has deferred honors to Colonel Hackler. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Dwayne Wolf from the 504th Military Intelligence Brigade.
If you'd bow your heads, please. Lord, we come before you today to celebrate the promotion of Colonel Chris Hackler to Brigadier General. We thank you for his service and dedication to our country, to our values. We ask you to fill him with courage to face any challenge with resilience, with humility to lead with empathy, and with discernment to make decisions that uphold justice and fairness. Let him be surrounded by a faithful and supportive team and enable him to inspire and elevate those that follow him. May this promotion be both a recognition of his past accomplishments and a challenge for his future service. Protect him and his family from all harm and danger, and guide him and his team in their mission and help them to achieve their goals. We pray also for ourselves, for our nation. You know our needs individually and together. You know our hopes and fears. Speak to us and give us strength, skill, and wisdom to serve our nation as soldiers and citizens that need not be ashamed of our calling. Bless each of us according to our need and use us for your glory. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is a long-standing tradition in the Army to recognize an important part of the Army team, the Army spouse and family. At this time, Sonia James Stewart is presenting flowers to Colonel Hackler's wife, Sunny, and daughter, Emma. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the U.S. Army Test and Evaluation Command, Major General James Gallivan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pardon my voice. I spent the weekend yelling at a TV set because of some Green Bay team. And Dak and a lot of four-letter words coming out of it, so just oblige me. So I'm a Texan at heart. Before we get started, and we've only been waiting, 2 years for Chris to finally get it right and get promoted. So let's focus on what matters. Jada, could you please stand up? Could we give Jada a round of applause? Thank you, Jada and Chaplain, for getting us all in the right frame of mind to celebrate our nation, families, people, and excellence, because that's what today's all about. It's a reflection on our beautiful country and our beautiful people. And so thank you all for being here today. We are going to finally promote Chris to the rank of General Officer today. I'll keep my remarks, since we've only been waiting 2 years, under an hour, Chris. Is that fair? There's no rush at this point. Definitely want to welcome Chris's family and friends that have come from across the country. In particular, Chris's best friend and bride, Sunny, their 2 children, their son specialist, George Hackler, who is serving in the 101st, as the narrator talked about, his daughter Emma going to school in Cincinnati. And you two are what make your mom and dad want to keep giving and making our country good, so the 2 of you can take us to the next era. So as a parent, as a father, as a husband, I'm in awe of what your mom and dad have done for the 2 of you. And you two have a lot to be grateful for. And today, as we celebrate your father, we're celebrating you two for putting up with him. In addition, we got Chris's father, George, here. George served in the Missouri National Guard. And Mom, Della, 30 plus years as a production plant manager at Lake City. For those of you that know about the Next Generation Squad weapon, Della, they'll probably take you back today, because I think business is booming back in Lake City. Got a whole bunch of other family members. Can everyone from the Hacklers, both sides of the family and friends, can you please raise your hands? Can we give family a round of applause? I also want to welcome our Fort Cavazos and Central Texas teammates, friends, and family members. Thank you all for being here. This is a very special place, because it's a place that looks after one another. And it's well beyond the boundaries of the gates of Fort Cavazos. Texas is special. Those of you that live here know that. Again, sorry about the football team. We can work on that, but other than that, things are pretty good. Those of you that know Chris, he was born and raised in Lexington, Missouri, graduated from high school there. He started in his senior year of high school. He joined the Army, became an enlisted soldier as a combat engineer in the Missouri Army National Guard. Your brother served in the Guard there as well, your father, so it's a family business of service. He was eventually commissioned as an officer in the branch of infantry in December of 1994. He holds 1 bachelor's degree and 1, 2, 3 master's degrees, right? So Chris is smart. That's a lot. I think 1's enough. It's just not good use of money. He's had all the perfect jobs for an infantry officer, and then now in ORSA. He served as a platoon leader at Fort Drum and in Korea, commanded twice at the company level in the 1st Cavalry Division and Iron Horse Brigade Combat Team. He served in analyst assignments at HRC, TRADOC, and Army G8, and as a director or division chief and postings in Army G8 in Afghanistan and the Army G357. Prior to coming to the Operational Test Command in Central Texas, Chris served in the Program Development Division Chief at HQDA with the Army G8 Program Analysis and Evaluation Director at PA&E. His reputation in OTC and here at Fort Cavazos is frickin' awesome. I didn't cuss, we're in a church, but it's awesome. To be honest, it's too good to be true. I got doubts. So we had to check his credentials from the recent past, because everything I've seen in Chris is like, wow, I want to keep working for this guy, I want to keep serving with him. And his family members, you got it right. You raised a wonderful son. So we had to do a little data check. I'm not a data guy, but Chris is. So from General Carl Gingrich, he's the former PA&E. He's now the incoming G8 in the Army staff. According to Carl Gingrich, I've known Chris for many years now and knew his promotion to brigadier was inevitable. Many others, action officers, civilians, general officers, had similar thoughts when they approached me unsolicited in the Pentagon and said the Army needs to make Chris a general. He's the consummate teammate, team builder, and leader. His reputation across the Army staff and the Secretariat is impeccable, and his performance in command over the last year plus is building on this status and his reputation. I'd be remiss, this is Carl speaking, if I did not also give a shout out to Sonny and the rest of the Hackler clan. They're a true Army family whose support and sacrifice are key elements of Chris's success. I wish them all well and congratulate them on this achievement. I do look forward to the day when I can wrestle Chris out of ATEC and bring him back to the G8. Sonny, don't worry, we're good. Everything's on track. His family here will welcome him back with open arms. I too will welcome him back as at this point in my career, I'm looking to keep a great Brigadier General between me and any problem. So Chris, I do think the building one day is gonna call you. There's still 5 sides there. I don't want to let Chris down by saying only nice things, so I do need to bring up 2 issues that I have with Chris. First, when it comes to PT, Chris is okay if it's running and lifting. However, in endeavors such as volleyball, let's just say Chris is somewhat challenged to avoid immovable objects. Second, we're glad he got his home bar built during the pandemic as he was teleworking so hard just in time to PCS to Fort Cavazos. From Carl Gingrich, congratulations, Chris, to you, Sonny, and the entire family. Those back in the Pentagon where you came from, they're proud of you. They're watching, the whole Army's watching you as a family. Here in ATEC, Chris's leadership and example has already made an indelible mark of excellence on OTC, as well as the entire Army test and evaluation community. Chris's vision, tenacity, and leadership are bolstering a climate that empowers people and ensures that truth in testing is always provided to our ultimate customer, the American soldier. Chris is a strategic thinker and warfighter with the highest of ethical standards. Chris and the OTC team successfully plans, prepares, execute, and oversees all operational testing for the Army and designated joint programs. Who here in uniform is not serving in OTC? Raise your hand. Keep them up. All right, you guys are welcome to join. We can work options. It's spiritually rewarding. God also will let you into heaven a little bit faster than the rest of the line. So we can work some deals. I got connections. Most of all, Chris leads our efforts to collaborate across the acquisition, requirements, resources, and test and evaluation enterprise to ensure that operational tests are enabling the Army's continuous transformation objectives. Chris's contribution to OTC and the Army have made an enormous impact, and we're excited to sustain this positive momentum in support of the Army's 4 focus areas. Before Chris's ego explodes, let's just go a little bit further with the Army's newest general officer. The numbers. I'm not a data guy. When Chris joined the Army as an officer in 1994, approximately 5,500 men and women were commissioned as lieutenants that year. Approximately 4,200 were in the active component. There are 306 general officers in the active Army today as we stand here. 135 of them are officers in the grade of Brigadier General or Colonel promotable like Chris Hackler. That's multiple year groups of that 135, probably 3 or 4. For the active component, this means that Chris is likely in a cohort of 30 officers out of the 4,200 that were commissioned into the active component in 1994 to obtain the rank of general officer. That's one of a very, very few. I got a degree in geography from Florida State, but that's less than 1%. You got a better chance than the Cowboys right now. Sorry, that hurts. Not right. Bad for the media, delete that. But even better, that less than 1%. There's only 306 active component general officers, as I said. Only 3 of them, including Chris, are ORSs. Not gonna do public math, but that's less than 1% too. One of a very few. Chris is rare and special, and it's not lost on Chris or me that it's because of what you in this room represent, which is all of the people that have gotten the Hacklers where they are today and where they'll go tomorrow. So you're part of the very few, and we're all celebrating today with the Hacklers. This is huge. The Hackler story, when you get down to it, it's about people, family, and service. Definitely the Army got this right, and our nation and all of us are the benefactors. Chris and Sonny, Valerie, and I, along with all the leaders in ATEC and across the Army, congratulate you and the entire family on this accomplishment. Please join me in a round of applause for this terrific Army family. In a few hours, when we read the orders, okay, minutes, and pin on the rank, there'll be a cheer across the globe from soldiers and families who know exactly how well deserved this promotion is and how grateful so many people are that have been part of their lives. So congratulations, truth in testing, this will defend.
At this time, Major General Gallivan will prepare Colonel Hackler's uniform for promotion to Brigadier General by removing the cross rifles of the infantry from Colonel Hackler's lapels. General officers no longer wear their branch insignia, as they are expected not only to be experts at their basic branch, but demonstrate general expertise across all branches. Please remain seated for the publishing of the orders. Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of George C. Hackler. In review of these qualities and his demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, he is, therefore, authorized and directed to wear the uniform and one-star insignia of a Brigadier General by the authority of the Secretary of Defense, effective 19 January 2024. At this time, Brigadier General Hackler's wife, Sonny, and daughter, Emma, are replacing the rank of Colonel to Brigadier General on his uniform. At this time, Brigadier General Hackler's mother, Della, and father, George, will replace the shoulder boards. The General's stars are the oldest rank insignia in use by the Armed Forces of the United States. When the Army was established in 1775, the Continental Congress commissioned George Washington as General and Commander-in-Chief. He, along with his Major Generals and Brigadier Generals, wore distinctive colored sashes as a visual display of their ranks. A few years later, the stars replaced the sashes as general officer insignias. On 18 June 1780, a directive prescribed that Major Generals would wear 2 stars and Brigadier Generals would wear 1 star on each epaulet. A longstanding U.S. Army tradition is the issuing of the General Officer Sidearm to officers who are promoted to the rank of Brigadier General. Prior to World War II, general officers had to provide their own sidearm. During World War II, the General's Code of Dress and general officer-issued firearms began in 1944 as the U.S. Army pushed across Europe, but didn't officially enter into Army regulation until 1956. At this time, Brigadier General Hackler's son, Specialist Hackler, is presenting Brigadier General Hackler with his service pistol. With the issue of service pistol to general officers, the need quickly arose for a holster and pistol belt to accommodate them. The belts and holsters became a badge of rank, as did the firearms they housed. At this time, Brigadier General Hackler's sister, Air Force Master Sergeant Retired Kim Levy, is presenting Brigadier General Hackler his general officer pistol, or belt. Brigadier General Hackler and his son, Army Specialist Hackler, will now uncase and unfurl his general officer 1-star flag. The original flags authorized for general officers were boat flags, scarlet in color. They were first authorized in War Department General Order No. 4, dated 22 August 1903, for use by officers of the Army when making official visits to Navy vessels. In 1923, the authorization of flags was further expanded to include automobile flags and field and office flags. The current policy for display and use of general officer flags is prescribed in Army Regulation 840-10. The flag serves as a visual symbol that a general officer is present and accompanies the general officer at all official functions. It is tradition for officers to affirm the oath of office in their new rank. Major General Gallivan will now administer the oath of office to Brigadier General Hackler.
I, George Christopher Hackler, having been appointed officer of the Army of the United States, as indicated in the grade of Brigadier General, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for honors to Brigadier General Hackler. This is his first time receiving honors as a general officer. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Private First Class Jacob Lopez from the Salute Battery is presenting Brigadier General Hackler a canister representing the first round fired in his honor as a Brigadier General.
Sir, on behalf of 1st Cavalry Division, 2nd Brigade, 316th Field Artillery Regiment, Alpha Battery, we'd like to congratulate you on your promotion and award you with your first round fired as Brigadier General.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Chris Hackler.
So good afternoon, everyone. Hey, this is probably the most humbling experience I think I've ever been through in my life. So I am grateful and blessed that every one of you were able to come here today and celebrate. I'm ecstatic that I could have so much family here as we go through to celebrate as this goes through. I'd be honest with you, there's absolutely no place I would rather be promoted than as the commander of OTC, as part of the great place, the Fort Cavazos greater community, a testament to just everyone that is here, the mission that we've had, the beautiful job that everyone does, and then to the support of all the volunteers that come through. So for the family that don't know, the good neighbors, the community around here, it's all volunteers. There's no salary involved in it. They are supporting everything that we do. They're at all the events. And beyond really honest with you, it comes out of their pocket. There's things that they're asked to do that they do that come in that make this place the great place. I've yet to be to an event that you do not run into them. So thank you all for coming through here, and for all the Fort Cavazos community leaders and all the Fort Cavazos unit leaders, thank you for coming through. I'd also like to say thanks. So it looks great. Everything was awesome today. We spent hours in here today, and I know Sergeant Major and Sonia have been driving the team for about 2 weeks. So to everyone who's had anything to do with it, Sonia, Sergeant Major, the G3 team, the 1st Cavalry Division Band, the Salute Battery, Chaplain, thank you very much. It is not lost on me how much work has to go in to make something like this happen. I feel guilty every time we ask for it, but you guys have done an amazing job as this goes through, and I truly, truly appreciate it. General Gallivan, thank you for the kind words. Similar to the place, similar to the unit that I'm happy to get my first job, and it's been about 18 months in the billet. You are the absolute right boss to have to get into that. Thank you for the mentorship, the guidance, the freedom and the ability to go out and to command the way I wanted to, with left and right limits, enough to keep me from getting in trouble, and just the guidance of how to make the transition. What I have noticed is a massive transition, and I appreciate everything. And Sergeant Major Otero, thanks for the beer and dinner and sitting down and getting guidance from you and helping steer that as we go through. I really do appreciate that as it goes in. All right, so where I really need to start, and General Gallivan brought it up, is to Sonny, George, Emma, and now Sammy, our newest member of the Hackler little clan there as it goes through. I wish everyone knew how much Sonny does for me, but I'm glad that people don't. Because if people really knew everything that Sonny did to keep me where I need to be, to give me confidence in what I need to do, to keep my ego in check, to be the sage vice when I bring home what I think is an amazing idea. I find the longer I'm around the Army and the more rank I get, the fewer people tell me no until I get home. So thank you, Sonny. It's been 25 amazing years. And to General Gallivan's point, we serve because Sonny still likes serving. Sonny is still passionate about serving, being part of the community, being part of the unit, is still willing to pick up and move around. You will look around the back and you'll see that Sonny has absolutely no problem making friends, and you'll find probably more people here to see Sonny than me. But that's good, and I appreciate everything you go through. To George, to Emma, I have asked a lot through the years, and you have always been there. You have always been willing. I appreciate that. I love you both very much. I'm proud of the young adults you're growing into. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me to do this. And to Sammy, you are a great addition to the family. You make George a better person. You're still a good person, but I mean a better person. Just the family, what you guys have been building over the last 2 years. And so for most, George being the very traditional soldier, married, a couple months later deployed with the National Guard. We thought that was it. He was going to be done, come home and start his family life, transitions to active duty, and goes right to 1st Brigade and right out the door about 5 months after joining active duty. So for the first couple years of marriage, most of it have been separated. So welcome to the Army. And hopefully it keeps going and it gets better for you guys as you go through. Okay, so really to the family, I'm so happy that everyone was able to travel. So my mom, Dad, Judy, Kim, just a long list. So Marty, Cheryl, which is Sonny's parents, Johnny, Renee, cousins. I got my Uncle Mark here, Charlie and Kathy, aunt and uncle. Let's see, did I miss anyone? I don't think I missed anyone. Oh, Kim. How did you not make the list in here? Oh, you're on it. I just skipped you. And Tim, so Tim's another one, and I'll get to friends here in a bit. Thank you very much for being here. It means the world to me that you guys were able to come here and celebrate with us. I did have to come here early just because it was more calm here before the ceremony than it was in the house. But that's good. Mom and Dad, thank you for all of the sacrifices through the years. There's absolutely no way I would be standing here without the support, the sacrifices, the lessons learned, just the example to follow, without everything that you did for me. So thank you for the love, the support. Thank you for what you've done for the family all these years through, and I truly appreciate it, and there's absolutely no way I can repay it. But thank you very much. All right, and then you see that quite a few friends, and this is what I love about the Army. So Tim, Lori, Ginger, Cliff, Vaughn, Jane, traveling in. Who else traveled in? I think I got everyone there. So look, that's been like a core that we have had. John and Sheila couldn't make it. If you put them in, and then I got to go back to some other didn't make it here. But if you put that in, that has been what has been great about the Army, is being able to have that core group of friends, dear friends that are always there with you, no matter, you don't have to live next door to each other, though it is better when you do. But you don't have to, and I really appreciate you guys coming here to go through. And then I do need to back up to family. So Sonny's grandmother was unable to make it, we're really sad. And then my brother, sister, and our sister-in-law and niece and nephew were unable to make it due to illness on both sides. So I really wish they could have been here, but with that, not everything can happen as you go through. So, all right, I'll wrap this up, but look, it's been 18 months, and I would not be standing here if it wasn't for the OTC team. So if I just go to Marty and Claudia Conroy when I first got in, the help of making that transition, the guidance, everything through, Joe, Darlene, and Jada transitioning with that. Both of you have been great teammates to have, and that helped me as we go through. John Leffers and Rob Stone. So John is the ED when I got in, that first 9 months. I mean, I spent more time on John's couch getting advice and going through, so I do appreciate that. And now that Rob is in, and Kay, everything through. And then to the front office, Rachel, Bear, Nicole, Clarice, Lizzie. Look, without you guys, I would not be able to do what I really want to do as we go through. I would have failed long ago, so very much appreciative of that. Look, everyone knows I didn't get here on my own, so I'm going to wrap this up as we go, but I've got to say thank you to all of the soldiers, the NCOs, the officers, the civilians over the last 20-plus years that have guided me. If left to my own devices, and if I got everything that I asked for, I would not be standing here if it wasn't for some mentor who steered me right and put me in the right spot as it goes through. And I am truly in debt to all of them as it goes forward. And with that, I will wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We do have some refreshments in the back, and we would love to see everyone stick around and socialize and spend some time with us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing and singing of the Army song.
March along, sing our song, we're the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. And it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Got all the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. You are invited to join Brigadier General Hackler and his family for refreshments in the back of the room. Thank you for attending. Truth in Testing.